Coming to you 0700 hours, 22 minutes, Wednesday, October 10th, 2018. I was listening to a lady yesterday named Nyla. Says, very great woman. Finally, I'm starting to hear people and see people. Hopefully, I can. If not, I'm not gonna worry about it if I don't become part of the team because mission that the creator got for me, whether I'm strictly working with people. That's I wanted to start off with this first. That want to see a real change. That's actually like me. They're studying, they're researching, they're working towards it, and it's Nylahasays. That's her YouTube, and she is now. I asked where she get her information from. I want to ask her eventually when we get more. I just started following her and listening to her and commenting. She commenting back. She actually responds to you on the lives. I don't really have a lot of lives or response. People will come on and just watch. I have people to sit through, so that's good. Starting to I don't care if you don't say nothing to me. I just like for people to think about what's going on because that's the way I think, and I don't really tell a lot what I'm doing, just like she don't, and that's good because we're gonna get into we'll get to common, then we she get into common ground, common minded people that view as let's build this, and if this happen later, cool. If it don't, it don't matter. It's like example watching the movie Black Panther. It was in Wakanda. They had the four or five tribes within their civilization. Then you had the one guy that's been he was his whole MOs was seek revenge. So he would have messed up the whole because we liked in like we had came to a conclusion and I noticed it. One second. Integrating without a purpose caused us slavery. Everything that we lost was integrating. So far, everything is nuggets that's throughout my videos that I even have to go back and write down. Because like how you listen to seminars, you'll write down like five things. And I notice I'll be saying like five things to live by or five things for me. I don't really go by. This is sharing what the creator gave to me, just like she do. And she don't have to say nothing. But she talking about real life things as in if you watch, and I don't mean no, and I can tell she's not one of those people that because she actually reads. I don't have. She have her own business and everything. She started at it, so that's great. And that's why that's so important for a parent. I don't know what her parents did or what clicked on to her. She started at a young age to have her own business, so she can sit on YouTube live and have the funds and take care of herself, and then just sit there for 4 or 5 hours and just talk to people. Some people can't get on right away. An hour, or they got a lunch break, a half an hour, 15 minutes. They can listen, and she can even respond to their questions. That's really working with her. So that's beautiful. I found a woman. It may not have to be my wife, but a woman I can work with that's very logical and practical. I can hear it in her voice, and she's like me. And the one thing I stand by is my race. I don't agree on some things, but that's on her. That's on her because that's not going to affect how we move forward in our projects. But what the project I always had community and unity. What is the unit? So in kinda if you saying he's the king, it's not so much that he's the leader, he's the king. The king held the power that kept them together, and they all respected, honored the order. It wasn't like an order as in I'm controlling you. It's like this is what kept us safe. We want a king that gonna keep us that understands. And then what Chala did versus Killmonger, Chala wanted. He's like, we can do this, but let's do this. And at the end of the movie, he's like, we could become an alliance. We don't have to give them nothing. We don't have to give them none of us what about us, our information. We don't have to give them anything. I don't still have to tell you, but we're gonna set an alliance. Let's see how long you can agree with this. First, I gotta see if I even want to be around you. So you don't automatically give somebody that position. Let me be around you. Let me get to know you. If you have respecting things about you, and this goes towards parenting, respecting things about you. Let me see if you can respect the things about me. And I get on that. But about parenting, what's important, the responsibility of parents? Well, first of all, I got this from listening to Rickey Smiley. And I keep hearing this. And I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with parents. I'm happy that none of you are my parents. And I'm kind of like disheartened that a parent can say this. First of all, if you a parent that recognize that you have a person that have not prepared their child for life, has, this is the word I will use now, you have failed them as a parent. You failed them. Your sole purpose as a parent, that's why I don't know what happened back in the day. That's why I don't know why there's so many families that their child is not prepared. She up there worrying about she ain't had a time of her life. It's not my fault that you had a baby at 16, 17, 18, 19. It's not my fault. You, if you knew you don't have the support and you had a child, I started seeing that. I started analyzing that. I started using my true heart. See, when I learned who I was, I started looking at people what they said. And then we had to take account on two. When you look at a person, it's the person, where they came from, and how they're planning where they're going. To me, it's like metamorphosis. I'm using that word now because the life cycle of like a larva, what it was some type of beetle. It's like 7 stages. And a silkworm is like 3 stages. And I learned silk actually come from a worm. Like truly, they actually watch the worm create the silk and they breed it. It's kind of weird. And this breeding to me, it shows me that when I say the word breeding, I'm going to get into, when I say nurture, foster, and breeding, I'm going to get into those words individually and let you understand what the world did. But this one is for the parents because of Rickey Smiley and other parents. And I watch people and now listen. And remember, he said this, quote unquote, not every word because it was like 14 minutes. He said, and he used it in the Christian way, but everything is in a Christian way because the Pope run the bishop run, well, by title and order in the church or in the church, yeah, the churches, the religion is Pope, bishop, pastor. Well, Christian churches, Pentecostal, Baptists have pastors. And if they come from the bishop run the churches. Like the church I go to, they call it the Big Ten. They have 10 churches. And the bishop, they got to speak to the Pope. The Pope is over the bishop. They follow the orders and the rule over the bishop. I mean, over the Pope and what the Pope tell the bishop what to do. So that's why I want to understand, do these elders and deacons, do the people of the church know that? And I know they don't. Because all they read is the Bible. And then even the Bible will tell you, the scriptures and the literatures that they're showing you tell you this. But somehow we don't connect that. But if you only taught and learned, is like I used nurtured, fostered, and breeded to learn a certain way, you're not going to actually see that. That's why when I talk to people, I was like, is this spiritual or is this just from the word? And it was like, this is the word but I was like, no, that's not what the creator told us. The creator did not tell us a lot of these things in this book. So have you done your research? And if you can do your research too, and then and I don't know how far you can find this in the book, the Bible. I can't. I don't mean like I don't know what scriptures they are, where exactly at, or in the Torah. I don't know the exact area, but it's in there, and it tell you the order of the church, and it tell you the order of the religion you in. So when people are like, well, the Torah is the truth, we have fallen away. No, we have not. We never even have. It's 2018 for 35 years. I don't still have access to the truth, to the all truth of what we supposed to be doing, because we went away from it. And this is the prime example: parenthood. If we truly understood parenthood, we would stop listening to doctors, and our young men and women wouldn't be having baby at a young age. We wouldn't just be having, and I'm guilty. We wouldn't just have sex with anybody, regardless if we feel like we love them or not. Because if we truly followed what the Creator gave us, we wouldn't have the parental discrepancies we see. We wouldn't hear a guy, example, Rickey Smiley said, as a parent, even though he admitted that he was not a good parent, he was not a good father. He admitted that. It's so he took the ability, he took it as count of his ability of being a parent or creating a child, but he did not take the response, and his response was wrong. And I can tell you why it was wrong. He stated, and parents that think like this, you are wrong. You have raised your child the best you know how. Wait, pause, stop. You already admitted that you did not raise your child. You raise your child the best. Whatever you do, you already admitted. Stop and pause and think about that. Think about that because it's going to be helpful to you going forward. And if you are a newly parent or you a person hear this and they explain to you, if somebody even challenging you how you think, like I used to hear and I still hear, I'm gonna give my child everything I ever had. And I was like, and I start asking, well, what is that? They're like, huh? What is that? I want to make sure they start off good. They always start off good. I want to make sure I was there. Okay, that's good. Then it's like blah blah blah. It's like okay, that's okay, but that don't really matter to your child. And I want to give them like the thing. I want to make sure they poor. You grew up poor, most likely. You still got a poor mind because you keep saying I want to give them like the things I didn't have. That's poorness. That's we are poor by. I listened to a person, even a rich person. It was showing me how to create money generating. Money, it's called money generating opportunities. Even with all these marketing, business marketing, uh, like online, like Amway, Prepaid Legal, Organo Gold. Now you got Shield. What else is out there? I know Amway is a big one, but those are some of the names of the multi-level marketing they have out there. Rain and the one that comes to my head real fast. Oh, Lightspeed with the phone. If you cannot manage to get people more so as not a client, but as a partner, you don't grow. You don't get and then you got to follow a certain way to get there. Because it's based off of their studies and research and their trial and error, which it does work. But you have to fit into what works. So most of the time, you will have to try more than, and they don't tell this to you. It would make sense because you're working on it, and it's not really any other thing unless you love coffee, or you do health and beauty, or you like to having a paralegal. Unless you work with type of careers that is needed and involved, that you really won't have really such an interest or the traveling one. So you can travel anywhere. If you don't have an interest in none of those things, most likely you won't stick to it. And that's what really happens. So you will try, and it's better for you anyway to try them all. Because if you're success filled that one area, you would be great. That's like parenting. You would know you would have to raise each child different. And what I mean by that. But first, it also stated, and people are like saying once your child get a certain age, once your child, it's like everything was it was condescending. It wasn't sending out, it was a trick. Because you already stated you didn't raise your child and you wasn't a good father. That already right there, it's like, so you don't even give your child knowledge, since you're going to give them everything you never had. But since you made it to a certain point, you had good money, and you started thinking your money covered for your lack of fatherhood or parenthood. Now, I will use hood in this situation. Or parental responsibility. You negated your parental responsibility at some point in their life, but you did it early in their life. So if you have more than one child, I'm already I'm going to be a suspect of understanding. I'm going to be a victim of understanding real quick. because like victims played a role. Like, oh, you didn't have no part in this. You couldn't see forward. You couldn't have done nothing about this. What happened to you? You're just you couldn't have done nothing. You couldn't have done nothing. Your child is the victim. That child could not do nothing from the ages literally 1 to 8 on their own, because you cannot start working in the labor, which would only be right in a lot of sense. I'm not worried about the department later. Over here, children, they be working them like slaves in other countries to make sneakers, shoes, and clothes and shirt that we take. Well, I want to live a luxurious lifestyle, so let me buy this suit. There's children in other countries slaving. There are children slaving to produce what you like. Nothing's being done. That's why I don't get into a lot of things, because it is truth. Because when you go to other countries, I was like, oh, you 10-year-old? Yeah, we going to work. What you? I was like, you working? And then you'll hear people, I was working since I was 12. That's not a good thing, and I won't brag about that. I don't care if you was working since you was 9. That's not good. You're not even done being a child yet, fool. And to say stuff, and then you can hear because there's a lot of hurt and pain that shape us, and that's what is coming at it. And he tried to use, and I will disagree. If you're gonna use the word, you missed a lot of scriptures that held truth with it. I remember reading a scripture that stated, "Your child at 18 is not so much an adult until you have given your," and this isn't in the word. This is why I was like, okay, I don't know what word he been reading. Until you have shown, the word they like to use is curse words, spelling words. So I'm going to go with these curse and spelling words, but they hold true to what I'm saying. You have not taught, you have not trained, you have not shown your child what to do. How are you able to kick them out at 18 and say, go into the world? And you expect that child to be like, well, I'm in hard times. And what he was portraying, you don't have to help this child. What? What? I never had a problem with parents, like, because I don't have children. And people love to use that notion. I was like, I'm happy I don't have a child yet. Because you know why? I get to listen to you. You know, I'm happy I get to listen to you. I can hear I know there's going to be some things that I won't be able to tell my child the whole book. My child won't remember the whole book. I tell them from my mind. All the information, not going to remember it. But a lot of my actions, it's going to help them. They're like, oh, my father told me that, and I'm going to show them my bank account. I'm not just going to tell them. I'm like, this is how much I got paid. This is expenses. This is how much it costs. This is how much you get on a sale. This is a coupon. That's why it's good to be part of like a BJ's or a store, because you get this is why it's good to have some connections with, or some alignments with people that own retail value or businesses. This is why it's good for you to have your own business. See, it's going to be so many information passed down, and when you show my child, so my son and daughter leave the house, they know why it's important to pay all the bills first. Not that I make a lot of money and the bills are paid, which a lot of kids think. When they hand them their first dollar, I don't care if you spend your first dollar on chips and everything, but they're going to know, save your first dollar. Because stuff like that I do. I save first things. I'm like, now, I'm like, oh, snaps, let me say this. They're like, why do you want to save it? Because that's weird to them. Because that shows me that's my first. Let me save it. And then you got a teacher that shows with Cain and Abel. To me, Cain and Abel was spirits. They wasn't people. And Cain, and Abel. Are you able? Cain killed Abel. See, Cain can do it. But Abel actually, he's able. So which one will you be? Would you be a can you do it? Or Abel, are you able to? And then the part now that kicks in is the will. Well, Abel used his will. He gave his first fruit. Cain waited and gave his like second or third. Either one is not bad. or negative. It just showed that you are able to give your first fruit. Cain was like, well, can I? It's like I can, but I'm really not. But in some cases, like I give my first fruit, and he was like, you got yes. Abel like, well, what if Abel to say, well, I don't know if I want to give my first. I'm able to, but not do it. But more so, Abel is more willpower, the most strength and set forward to give the first fruit that it was grown. So the first fruit that's grown, you have to nurture a little different. You have to give it first. You have to give it. So when your first child is born and you had a child at 15 and you still malnourished or unnourished, that means you have not received all the nutrients. You have not received all a good amount of life yet. You don't know what to do. So I would not tell, but challenge yourself. And I want to guide parents into understanding. If you have more than one child, please understand you cannot raise each child the same way. You cannot. One child might need because if you learn through audio, some people learn through physical. So let's take those two types. You might have those two types. One child will be more like uh, they need to hear what you're saying. Other person need to do, and you're not like the child that need like I need to actually see what you're doing to learn or to understand what you're saying, and you trying to just say, hey, you have to do this, and you thinking they're just going to do it. You're going to be sadly mistaken, and the child is going to be very lost and hurt because now when you discipline them, it's like, well, if he a doer and you physically disciplining him, it's not helping him, but all you're doing is showing him that this is love. But when he try to he might need see and it sounds funny and what type of people we are, that child will grow up. Now he's a doer, that's physical. The whooping is physical. And during this whooping cycle, that pattern that you do, he knows he's gonna get a whooping. He might gear towards wanting a whooping. What's up? Hold on. What's up? No, I'm I'm doing my live. Yeah, I'm doing my YouTube live. YouTube live. I, s- I am alive. I said I'm doing my YouTube live.
Oh, what?
About parenting.
What you fucking know about parenting?
Exactly. And that's what these people gonna think. They can hear it too.
Shit.
Yeah.
You don't know shit.
I don't know.
You
Okay.
don't know shit about parenting
Okay.
until you have one of your own children.
That's what they think.
Of course.
Okay.
You don't fucking know nothing. What you
Okay.
know later?
Nothing.
You look like you've been awake a while.
No, I just got up. That was on my heart. It's very
Parenting what? The fuck you know about
Understanding.
parenting? You don't know shit about parenting.
And see people.
I've been a parent for 30 years.
And see that's what I'm talking about.
I've been a parent for 30 years. You don't know shit.
That's
you ever
that's
changed
what we're
30
talking about.
diapers? Been up in the middle of the fucking night when your child is
with my nephew and my nieces.
That's not the same.
Okay.
Because they're your nieces and nephews, not the same.
Okay.
At your own.
All right, people, I'm asking this.
Ain't the same when you.
I'm happy to count that somebody that have children and say somebody that don't. Okay, I got a question. Hold on.
You don't have to
Answer my
worry about
question.
the
Hold
other
on.
bills. You don't have to worry about the medical bills, about putting food
Mine-
on the table. You
mine
don't have
is-
to worry about the clothes.
That's not where I'm aiming with people.
When you're talking about parenting, that's parenting.
Psychological.
No.
Okay.
You treat you
You
teach
treat
your
your
children
the same way.
as
You
I treat
discipline them the same
everybody
way.
else. But my son, my children, all
Uh-huh.
of them, that gave them freedom
Mm-hmm.
to choose.
Right. That's what I'm talking
To
about.
choose the right direction.
Right.
When I see them veering,
Mm-hmm.
I correct them. I don't yell at them. I don't
Right.
beat them. I mean, sometimes my foot has been so far up their behind
Mhm.
that they only can go in the direction I point my foot.
Right.
But sometimes you
Answer
have
this because I'm on my live.
Mhm.
I want my live
That's
to be
okay.
8
I'll
hours.
answer it.
Do you discipline your children all the same way?
Okay.
Right.
The punishment has
Mhm.
to fit the crime.
There you go. So you hear that? Exactly.
It depends on how severe their
Now let's say you have one child, like when you was parenting.
was. I'm still.
No, I'm saying, oh, I know you are, but that's what I'm getting at too on there.
Mhm.
And you had one child when you discipline and you realize that discipline, was not effective for this child. Did you keep disciplining the children the same way, or did you find ways to discipline them so this child can understand?
Well,
Because every child not going to understand discipline the same way.
but not all children, like you said, are the same.
Right.
So your child
Right.
might not take
That's what I'm
discipline
saying.
the
Right.
way mine. I'm not going to discipline your child.
No, we know
I
that.
can't discipline all
Right.
my nieces or my
You
nephews.
can.
No.
You can.
I because in my family,
Mm-hmm.
I am the punisher.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, we're sending you to uncle,
Yeah.
and if you don't behave, we're sending you. But when they got here, they're like, man, this is the coolest guy ever.
Right.
Go ahead, punish me, send me to uncle.
Right.
But with my children, and I'll say this, like I was unfair.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was more harsh, and not that I
The
ever
guy.
on my daughter.
Okay.
I think that a father will always be a little harder on his little girl
Right.
because he wants to protect her, because of the way we treated women when we were younger.
Right.
And now at 18, 19, 20, I know what I did to other girls who had fathers who was probably outraged.
Right.
So I tried to protect my daughter. So I probably disciplined her a little more harsh than I would my boy, because boys will
Right.
be boys.
Okay, I got another question. This was the main focal of the parenting, what's important, the responsibility, what you should and like should not do. That was like the title of the topic. Okay.
What we could and cannot do should be.
Right.
I should be able to whoop take off my left foot.
Right. But
I can't do that.
That's not what we are. Right.
Well, I can't. I'm just saying. I wish could not do this.
Expressed in your own way. Do you think, or because I like to use different words, people got different mentality. Do you think or believe that once your child turned 18, it's like a 3 or 2 part question. You kick them out the house. Now with that, they leave at 18, or because the guy was expressing from 17, 18 to like from basically 70 to 25. He was saying that the child should leave the house, but then he also added on stipulations. So there's like a 3 or 4 part question. Do they leave the house from 17 to 25? Why? Okay, if you acknowledge you wasn't a great father or parent, or you did not give them the information, I'm gonna start with those 2. Is it okay when you kick them out, and then let's say they didn't do good, they wasn't not so great out there, they might have done some things they shouldn't have done? Is that also okay for you as a parent to say, well, I've done all I can do, but you already admitted you was not so great as a father or a parent to your child growing up? Do that give you the right or the excuse or to exonerate you from saying, well, I did all I can do? Like it's like I don't know how to like really. It's like
I understand.
the
I
battle.
understand. This is
Yeah.
If you first
Mm-hmm.
were not given the tools
Yeah.
to deal with society on your own, get a job, pay your bills, how can you teach your children?
Okay.
So you can only give what you've gotten.
Yeah, right.
And if your parents failed you, then you're going to definitely fail your children unless you put forth the effort.
So, okay. That was the other part. Yeah.
You understand? Like that's not totally on. It's got to be experienced. Definitely, like if my parents didn't teach me, the correct way, pay your bills, make sure you have food. Yeah, well,
okay. It's like we going Pacific.
I came from a really poor family, and we didn't have credit cards, and we didn't have credit, and we didn't have those. Those are things that we had to learn. Those are things I had to learn. My sisters had to learn. My mother, unfortunately was an alcoholic who now, before her death, had gone to meetings and changed her life and became an ordained minister and changed her life completely.
Right.
It's not that because you failed before that you're going to continue to be a failure as a parent or as a person in general. So I say this to say that it's if you can't teach your child the proper way to be an adult,
Right.
then you shouldn't just throw them out,
Right.
because it is your failure as a parent in that you didn't have the skills
Right.
to
There you go.
how to what's the word I'm looking for, how to
I know what you're saying.
compartmentalize. I'm trying to say.
I know what you're saying.
This
Yeah.
bill goes first. This,
Right.
we gotta pay the rent. We gotta pay the
Right.
light. We got now. I'm gonna maybe pay the bill this week. This time I'm gonna buy a video game,
Right.
or pay a $300 sneakers, or I'm going to, in women's case, I'm gonna do my hair and nails, but forget the rent. I got 12 candles. I've been dying to burn, so I don't really care about no light bill.
Right.
I got candles.
Right.
That kind of thing. But with parents who don't have the skill to teach your child how to be a successful person in society, it is what it is.
Okay. And with that, since
I don't say we're failures. I just
Right.
feel like
I feel, but to say that, okay, got almost.
But you try to make your children better than you.
Better than you, right? So, what would you say to the people that think as well? We're gonna. Hold on, man. Usually don't take long.
You forgot it's Wednesday and it's long day.
They changed it because last year it was
always
Tuesday.
Wednesday.
It always Wednesday?
Yeah, always Wednesdays.
And I always had a day
Yeah, it's
off.
always Wednesday.
I thought it was always Tuesday. That's why I started hitting them on. I heard them on Thursday one time. I was like, when did they
It might
change it
have
to
rained the
Thursday?
day before.
No, it didn't. I think they just missed it. They might have missed our ears. I don't know. Because he kind of knew. I've never seen him. So they might have had a changeover of people. He's cutting the grass. Oh, I see what he's doing.
It's been a while too because all the rain.
Yeah. But I don't see. You see how it rain? You know, my grandson grow up. You go down.
You got swamp from the corner.
I know, right? They don't. Oh, it's the water. Whatever insects over there, they love it. All the beetles, all
I'm
of them.
surprised you don't have more mosquitoes.
I know, right? They don't have any babies over there. 'Cause that's perfect. The
Striders.
The spiders probably.
Striders.
Striders, yeah.
They like water. They fly, but they like
Right.
water and striders. Water striders.
Right. Remember the Jackie Chan movie? That was funny. Okay,
Oh.
with the I had a second part, but the other question, it's more of okay, the parents now. We talked about everything. Now the parents realize they made some type of error in their ways. Like you said, they don't know. What would be the advice for parents that just say, well, I taught my child, I showed them, I'm gonna kick them out the house, and you didn't give them all the knowledge and you so quick to kick your child out the house? What would be your advice to the parents to just think, well, I'm the parent, I showed my child, they shouldn't do this, so they get in trouble, it's their fault, and them got nothing to do with me at all. They chose it. I showed them this, I showed them that. What would be your advice to parents, for parents like that?
If you want,
They got their choice. They got a choice.
to have a successful child, right? You have to, and this is just me, and I had this really good thing to say, but then
I know, right?
the lawnmower threw me off. It was so loud.
When if he tell me later, I'll come back on my live and then I'll tell you.
Right? No,
Yeah.
if your child surpasses you in being emotionally and mentally mature, then, because I've seen this, I've seen this plenty of times where children, and I make fun of myself with this. I say to myself, my son is the adult and I'm the child, and he takes care of me.
Right.
And it's a joke. It really is a joke. Because you know me as a parent.
Right.
I take care of my children. I love them to death. I'm not the best parent,
Right.
but I'm not the worst. But I do try to instill, even though I'm not the most prominent dad, and I'm not the best. I know I have done all I can.
Right. You
and
acknowledge.
my children are successful, thank
Right.
God.
Right.
But
Right.
most important is that my children are healthy. Mentally, emotionally, never beat on them. I don't degrade them.
Right.
Stop telling children they can't amount to nothing.
Stop calling them bad.
Yeah, stop saying that they're no good. Because when you keep telling people it doesn't matter who they are. Right. You're no good, you're no good, you're no good. And if you hear that long enough, you're going to be no good.
Right.
You start telling children, you're the best. God, I can't believe how smart you are. You are awesome. You're the best. You're good. That's what they're going to become.
Right. And see, people also, y'all know me, he say the word God. You see how we can talk? We've been hanging out. I've known the gentleman for like for like 3 weeks all together. He invited me to his house. He showed me a lot about his family. I remember when he first met, he said, men don't get emotional around men. And he done it twice. So it's funny. But this is coming from a person, I do not even have the same form or like extraction or instruction of religion. We have totally different religion and we can talk about this. So, and I appreciate y'all listening. I don't know if he got anything else to say towards parenting. It's up to him. He got anything else to say towards parenting?
I would have my children with me forever if I could.
Exactly.
I would never throw my children out, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Oh, ain't gonna catch you up. Oh, that's what they do. No wonder like my grass get cut. One moment. I didn't know they did that.
Oh yeah, me neither. Close this, you can talk. I'll come back later.
All right. I'll come by and holler at you. Louis. Oh.
He got the sticker. You knocked the sticker. Are you coming around front though? And in front of mine, like in the bottom right there too? Like that shit is growing. I've never seen one go down. Mine's the one that looks like a peach. I'll show you if you go down. No, it's not burned out. The whole bottom has this, like it's a big hit. Because they never put the weed back in front. I keep mine better.
Oh, whatever.
Mine's the nice. I said in the back, I mean, there's a guy out there. Oh, the old dude? The old hair? Nah, the rare guy. He's out there.
All right. Call you? What? Call you?
Yeah, but now you're gonna have bread.
In a little bit?
Let me know. I got some pancakes.
Okay. If you want me to make the pancake, I'll bring my skillet. I'll bring my skillet. Okay. See, and see how you can have conversations. That's another example. I like that of so-called African descent, and he's Boricua. He don't call himself Puerto Rican because of his history. He actually had pictures of his family, so you can even see the differences. I agree, but I don't have to agree with everything because, like you said, he's a parent. I'm not, but at the same time, it's an understanding that we two can have. Like literally, what he said, I literally see, and it come from an express experience. So as I stated before, everything is a choice, and the main thing that I liked was he the type of parent that want to be a parent. He's the type of parent, whether he had a child with his wife, not with his wife. His wife is here, not whatever it may be. I'm not gonna tell you somebody else's story. I didn't tell you yet. And whatever it may be, and that's why I don't get into this. Like, and that's the one thing I don't get into the celebrity things a lot. I bring out the words and things they say. People said I overanalyze, so then they start to get to know me. It's like you don't overanalyze. You are literally taking the words. I was like, what else do I supposed to take what you say? I don't care. Sometimes I don't even care what you do. I take your words and be like, really? That's really what you're going to do? That's what you're doing? Is you really paying it? Because we how we say our actions. We want to see a person action more than their words. I want to hear your words and see your action because I'm the type of person that's a doer. But I learned as in people are different. I can tell you I love you, but the words may not hit you. But then let me go home. Let me see how I treat you. Let me show you I love you because I'm a doer. And you like, boom. And then there's some things that's not pertaining to love that I can show you. And it's like, well, that's weak. That's nothing. But my words was greater. So you got to learn how to take what from what person. Because like they say, how was the relationship better than the last relationship? I don't know. You're like, well, you ain't learning. Like, I truly don't know. Because what you're trying to get me to do is say she's better than her. But she's a whole individual, a different person. She's unique from her. I cannot tell you one relationship was better. But one thing I'm not going to allow myself to do, I am not going to accept. One thing I won't accept, and this is the BS we have, and this is what made us parents in the first place. That when I didn't even realize that. Well, I did. I will not accept one thing from her that I would not accept from her. One thing I accept from my father, I would not accept from my mother. My mother is wrong, she's wrong. My father wrong, he's wrong. My mother's good, she's good. I'm not going to play that game with people. See, I don't play games with my heart, my livelihood. So we just heard firsthand, and just I don't have a child to a person that has a child. But somehow I agree. He said with the tools, what I say unto one, I say unto all. My tools that I give my child. So if this tool is knowledge, which he have also stated, if I did not give my child that tool, I wasn't a good father. I wasn't a good parent. I don't have to, and this is not hold off on this. Do not disrespect it is disrespect. That's one thing they garnished and fashioned in the old day. I find traditionally very great. I don't care if my mother did drugs, crack. She did me wrong. Now, when it comes down to being molested, you better open your mouth. If you being hurt in the wrong way, but my mother done some things, I'm not going to say, oh, my mother was horrible. Start dissing, because after a while, it become a hatred. It become a diss. You start growing roots. I don't want to grow a root, because that's why I tell my mother, you don't see what you did wrong, so be it. I forgive you, but I still want you one day to acknowledge what you did was wrong. Do you even acknowledge in yourself? She don't have to say nothing. Because I'm starting to learn my mother. And just like he said, his child didn't surpass him. But all the knowledge he gave him is like, wow, my son the parent. He giving me information. My father don't talk to me as much. My father, real life father, will realize how much knowledge I have if he just talked to me. And he can see what information that he never gave me when he was not there. I'm not dissing him. But this is like a helper to me. And it would kindle our relationship. Our kinship would be better. We need kinship. Our civilization, our community. That's what I'm happy I'm going to be. I so hope I get to work with the people Nyla working with. We all have the same movement to see us better as people. Us, our race. I'm not worried about a Chinese person, a Caucasian person, an Asian person, a Middle East. See, it sounds funny. But it was okay when Asian and Chinese and Caucasian people building civilizations and buildings that had nothing to do with other races. See, they got a Chinatown. White people don't own Chinatown. It's an entity within itself. In the Haitian, everybody, but so long as the people of America that look like me with the skin color do something. And I learned Puerto Ricans and Mexican people own companies that's dominate black people. Quote unquote, black in America, indigenous, Moors, whatever you want to call us. African will say of African descent because they call us Negroes and nigger, but I'm not a Negro, I'm not a nigger. We're not that. Your children's not that. So stop acting like they are. And so we got to stop worrying about what others think because we're going to build these projects strong. And that's all I'm going to say. But for parenting, You heard the side. He want his child to always be with him. And there's parts even in the scripture that say, if your child not even prepared, why would you kick your child out the house? Your child not ready. Why would you disown your child? That's baffling to me. That's baffling to me. I don't know why. That is so baffling to me. The child's not ready. You have not prepared your child. But you sitting up there, this is on YouTube. I'm gonna put the link. Rickey Smiley sitting up there, and no offense, this is no, because that's attacking his character. But don't go by what he said. He said he wasn't a good father, and he said he wasn't always there. So there's times when your child needed you when you wasn't there. Guess what they're going to experience? They're going to experience what they're going through without a parent, a missing parent. So a missing parent don't have enough. That's like you trying to connect a wire and it's a link missing. The connection won't go too well. Eventually, you can link it up without that missing link because you can weld it, you can solder it. You got them tools and skills that you had to learn on your own. You had to put it together on your own. So this is what these children are doing. And to talk on the bad children, that's like he said, you don't call a child bad. You don't keep giving them the curse and the spell over and canceling it, making it harder and stronger for them to come out of it. Just like the man said, thank you, he was on death row. He done some bad things, but he thought about his life. His mother would condone his behavior. She would hide him stealing a bike from his father. He had a father in his life, so that showed he had a two-parent household. But the mother would help hide. The mother would help lie. Cool. But after a while, he got to take, and this is the next part. You do have to take your own responsibility after a while. Because as an adult, if your parent is malnutrition, that means she did not get all the tools, her parents failed her. So guess what's going to happen to the next generation? So I'm not so worried about if I have a child or not. Because I know there's children that's alive that can need my knowledge, regardless if I'm a parent or not. I changed diapers. I was laying there with my cousin and niece and nephew when they was sick. So parenting is not so much the naked eye of me with my seed as a parent. I have a man, and I listen to him because I garnish, I value in my morals, ethics, and values, a positive and good. I value respect. Regardless, I respect my mother and father. I don't care if my father used to beat on me. He didn't, and which he kind of did. It was kind of borderline abusive and discipline. But that don't garnish the way. Okay, now if he had a fully abused me, I probably have a different thought about him. But I don't, because I had a mother there. She would ask him, "Why is you hitting him so many times?" Things like that. Do you see him not hurting? It's painful. It's no longer that he got like I got. It was from getting the question wrong. That's why I'm a great example. Not because I'm a parent. I know that hurts. When you hollering at your child because they're getting a math problem wrong, that's wrong. Because that's not making them understand it. I know what goes there. Let my mind develop. Let me become who I'm going to become. So I can get the correct answer the way it's taught. So I can later learn, okay, I don't need pain to enjoy myself. I don't need pain to learn. I'm tired. My body is not receiving right now. My body's not. I'm not out here doing things, but my body's never gonna stop connecting to the spirit. So yes, I can talk about these and not do other things. I'm okay because my mind is not idle. I'm still reading. I'm still learning. I'm still going back. Like what I do, I go back and watch Malcolm X. Like what did I miss last time? Martin Luther King. Listen to some Garvey. Some people like, and people say these names like, you sound like this gentleman. I had this new gentleman. I didn't write it down. I was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, I never heard of him. One dude said I sound like a Umar Johnson. I was like, I have not once. I think I said I don't know him. I meant to say I have not once heard any Umar Johnson tapes or recording videos on YouTube or anything. I have a movie, a CD, DVD of Umar Johnson. I have yet to hear anything he has to say. He said, I sound like Umar Johnson. Well, I was like, well, and for this topic, if Umar talk like this, I think you should listen to him then. And if you don't like what he's saying, you don't really want unity. You don't really want to better your people. You don't want to better yourself. Because bettering yourself betters your family, betters your surrounding. Your surrounding get better. They go out and you educating. It's no longer a higher learning. It's an education that is you can value. People say no one can take your degree from you. No one can take your education. No one can take that. I went out and went to the library and checked the library files. I read these books and had these books. So if I say I read this book and I give you extract the information from the book and utilize it in the spirit, ask the creator to decipher this all for me, to bring the truth, the all truth, no one can say, well, you didn't read the book. You didn't do your study. You didn't do your research. I'm like, that's a bald-faced lie. Like how we said, it's a bald-faced lie. So that's a lie to yourself as a parent. If you think you've done all you can do, your child trying, go ask your child, how should they pay their bill? When your child, ask them this, when you get paid, what should you do first? Just ask that question. And I guarantee you, if your child can't answer, and your child is about 16, 17 now, going maybe go to college, go live in a dorm. Ask your child, what do you do when you feel unsafe? If your friends is telling you to do wrong, what should you do? That should be already acclimated. That should be already guided into your child. So when that challenge, see, not the test, the challenge, not the trials and tribulation, because that's iniquity before us. There's errors before us. We know you don't know it all. We know they don't know it all, because that's why you're doing it, because we know we don't know it all. When I call myself perfect, and if you understand perfect, I will break it down. He was like, oh, I want to talk to you. I was like, I'm not calling myself perfect for the fact of what you think about me being perfect. My wife, the woman I find for love, going to think I'm perfect. She's not going to think I'm being too hard on her. It's like how you say, you crazy. Okay, he's not going to think you crazy. But in some cases, some instance, you got to really think about what you truly saying. I'm really to accept that a woman is insecure. But it has to be a time and a place when she can be able to open me and be like, why are you insecure? If I have not caused distrust with you, just like your child, if I have not caused this, why are you this way? So if your child is bad, now here's the other side. You're going to get a child. You have 3 children. One child may not be on board. It's something you may be missing. And I'm the type of person, and when I'm going to be a parent, I'm going to try to figure this out. That's my soul. That's one of your soul duties is to figure out, okay, this child's stealing. I don't teach this. I don't show this. We don't watch this. Who are they around? What are they viewing? What's going on in their life that they want to take? So I'm gonna try different things. And you say, well, my job don't allow me. Well, your job is not, that's a job. Your life should allow you. I'm not even talking about owning a business. I just said your life should allow you to cater to your child in the best way, see fit form that they need. If you cannot do that, you need help. You need help. I'm not going to revert. You shouldn't have had a child because you already had the child. You should now understand this. You had your child already. But you can choose what you want. It's your choice. Your path is your journey. But remember, that's your child, choice, path, and journey. You choose wisely so they can choose better. If you don't think so as a parent, anything we talked about today, if you want to listen to that Rickey Smiley and listen to what he garnished, cool. But I'm going to make sure my child, when I have a child, my nieces, my cousins, I call them my nephews and my cousins, they're not out there in the street. They father wasn't so great. They mothers gave them information, or their mothers weren't so great, but they father gave them information. No records, none of the things to keep themselves from being able. Now you know what I can do right now. We kept them on a straight and narrow, and we kept them in the guiding of good paths, good seeking greatness for yourself. Even though we didn't have to understand what is greatness, I can go out right now and like, let's go, cousin. You know what he'll do? He'll follow me. Come on, nephew. Come on, niece. They'll follow you with no question because they know they're not in danger because I don't do things to put them in danger. They know that cops not going to pull up on me. They know that people is not going to come attack us. So whatever they have to get done, we can get it done. That's the nurturing of a good family. If you don't think so, parenting may not be for you. You should go back and understand who you are. Shalom.